That's kind of money. And I said her. Yeah, so you're. Right. And that's it. Rick is so.
Oh, it is, okay.
Wake up some years later.
Meeting on this side, not yet, because I'm gonna start, I want to get it.
Well.
Get on board.
Just don't
want to pay the election.
What they're doing.
Well, I see the one somewhere, for the other side,
The other side is.
the north side.
The road side's completely.
Yeah.
South side.
Yes, that is.
Everything's
I mean, they're back.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
I think the, yeah. I just kind of joined for purchase. A mile longer. We can probably break out of it. It's like, yes.
When they got, you can't let them grow to the pole teams.
Oh, you did. Your hands?
Yeah.
Well, so works.
Okay.
So.
Such a big.
I feel like I'm.
It's just fish.
We all.
That's better. I feel like it's gonna be.
You know, we both get number one.
Thank you.
I went to Thursday. Here's one years old. Well, the thing about the butter is they don't get right out. That's the sort of value we should.
Nobody does. You should be able to get that. Yeah, I had a problem.
Yeah. It's funny to look at that. Yes, and then there's that pod. Remember road there? They were over something about, you know, see, everyone.
Yes, right, yeah. Yeah, it's bad to be still.
Yeah. Because that's what. I'm sure they're very, never something. That's a big one.
Those aren't Trumbull words.
If I go grab up those and. Yeah.
Run
through.
No, it's here. He's not here to. You got the word chip. I guess. I know. It's made its way around. Hey, you know what?
Take my search chair.
Yeah, she's short.
John Florence. Oh, bless you, man.
Yeah, that's like.
Big progressive season. Hey, guys.
30 years ago. You pay the zoning issue.
Go see Sky. That was which? Now it's little. I just said.
I'm blind. They're there.
Yes, we're doing a good job over there.
I talked to Chris earlier, before he went over there, he didn't get over there, but I'm trying.
Yeah. They were doing that well.
Anyone complains, I'll take it. Yeah, I only see it from driving around.
Any water bottle sticker I got tonight?
Yes, it'll stand in line.
Yeah.
Thank you for waiting for me to finish drinking.
All right, we're wrapping up in 5, 4, 3, calling this meeting to order at 7:34, please. Everybody rise to pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll be right with you folks. Do you want to bring them in too? No. Okay. We have shorter humans, we didn't still eat questions, but they're in the other. Oh, okay. You want me to- All right, when you have a seat, if you'll call roll, please. Trustee Hoff,
Here.
trustee Kelly,
Here.
trustee McGuire, trustee Schatzberger, trustee Thomas. Here. Trustee Diatley.
Here.
You have a physical quorum, thank you. Moving on to the minutes, discussion to have a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes from July 20th.
So moved, you have me?
Second. Moved by Diatley, seconded by Thomas, and comments, questions, or edits? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Moving on to president report, I have the civility pledge. We had some people, but they're not going to, so Clerk Rhea is going to read it.
In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community,
and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Thank you. All right, president report. I won't go much into stealing thunder, but I just want to remind everybody, school is going to be in session next week. D300, I understand, starts Tuesday, August 11th, so we have the signs out to slow down. Please give everybody a break. School keeps starting earlier and earlier, and they're not out for summer, but they're still out. I was reminded in a recent newsletter from the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, the new leader indicated that we no longer have the lazy days of summer this past year. We've had tons of storms. So Director Killinger, I'm just going to echo some of the sentiments of all the residents this past summer. Thank you to you, Dylan, and unfortunately Alex is gone now, but for everything you guys have done this summer, especially with the big storms and a lot of extra work. So, and the rain, just the saturating rain. So thank you very much. Since the last meeting, I've had quite a few meetings and different events. I met with Trustee Kennelly, Engineer Steele, Director Killinger, and we discussed the upcoming street program, which we'll be discussing and voting on tonight. I also had a Metro West dinner, which was wonderful. I got to sit with the Elgin Mayor, South Elgin Mayor, Ward Elgin Mayor Captain, and then the Waterman Mayor Feitlich, who their town's about 2,000, a little less than 2,000, also very small. He's a new mayor, so we've had a good chance to commiserate over the learning curve of this past year. Last night, Board of Trustees, I want to say thank you again for changing the calendar earlier this year. I was able to make it to my other job's fundraiser last night. And as it so happens, got a chance to meet with multiple Sleepy Hollow residents who showed up there, as well as some local other government officials to discuss Sleepy Hollow. We had the Elgin Councilman Corey Dixon was there, leaders from PADS organization were there, as well as some of the local candidates in the upcoming election. So just want to say thank you. It was a good turnout. And then fortunately, thanks to Kirk Reed, we carpooled tonight and made it over to National Night Out. Got to see Trustee Diatley and Thomas there, Sergeant Diori and Officer Allegretti. There are mayors from East Dundee, Carpentersville, County Representative Cliff Sturgis, and then representatives from Suzanne Ness's office. It was a really good turnout, great food trucks. And as Jen's daughter and cousin ran off, she said, "This is the safest place. I have no problem with them running off." As for some resident outreach these past few weeks, we've had quite a few meetings on different issues brought up by residents. One in particular, we're working on vegetation at intersections. We had a staff meeting today. We are currently working on it. As soon as we have some more information and further understanding, we will reach out and follow up with those individuals who are affected by those areas. There's the issue that we've had on Stevens Court. Trustee Thomas and I were able to meet with that resident. We've come up with a plan moving forward, so we're taking those next steps. And I spoke with Chief. We're going to get some more information for that resident, take a few more readings, and then get a full report to them so they have a broader span of things. Let's see, we have Stevens, Junipers. Oh, and then we had a number of residents reach out about some of the cables that have been in their lawns. We have temporary cable lines from Comcast that are in their yards. Some of them as a result of some of the MetroNet hits back last fall, and these temporary cables have been in the yards for well over 6 months. We are working on a letter. There have been multiple ones, so we've accumulated a list, and we're going to reach out to Comcast to set up a time and a plan and get those things moving forward so that those cables can be put back underground or dismissed once they have the permanent ones in. If you have any outstanding exposed cables or open utility boxes, please make haste, email Administrator Van or myself, preferably no later than tomorrow end of business. We'd like to get this letter to Comcast immediately. We're going to get ready to send it out tonight, but in light of this announcement, I'll just hold it over till the end of business tomorrow. If there's anybody else, please let us know. Other than that, I'm done with the president's report. So
President Paul, I would like to amend the agenda under new business to discuss a budget issue for a drainage study to be discussed.
okay, can you just raise that under the new business?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the clerk report.
No report.
Thank you. The building official is not here tonight. Attorney report. Could you update the board had asked at the last time we were discussing, or do you want to wait toward the last issue on new business?
Which there are a couple items later on.
Okay, we'll bring it up under new business.
Attorney directions, we'll see. I mean, obviously I'll participate in that.
Okay, sorry, we'll bring it up there. I know, thank you. All right, in that case, engineer report.
I have a bunch of items under new business.
Okay, we get to that. Village administrator report.
Request a motion to approve the accounts payables in the amount of $97,146.66.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, Diatley.
Moved by Hoff, seconded by Diatley. Comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Thomas,
Aye.
trustee Connolly.
Aye.
Trustee Hoff,
Aye.
trustee Diatley.
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you.
I just approved another senior citizen freeze, and so that brings us to 8, and there's still one pending. I checked them, status, and it's still not approved yet. And there are 2 outstanding permits for 1001 Main for a ramp sidewalk and also for the outfitter. So it's progressing.
All right, thank you.
That's it.
Comments from the public. Thank you. Number 1, Pete Vernon, please.
Well, as again. So, last meeting. Looking aboard, please. Begin the process of amending zoning code. To make self-storage a prohibited use. This is the whole area that is involved. This is the amount of text that handwritten that would be required. A few words added into what's already there. I think we know pretty much where public sentiment is. Obviously, there has to be a hearing, etc. But the sooner we do it, the sooner we know that we're not gonna have to relive this drama for a 4th time. That's what I have for that one. The other is kind of circling back into the president's report on vegetation at intersections. We have language in the ordinance that is quite specific in the restrictions and in its definitions of what would constitute obstruction of view and where the responsibilities lie. It always starts with the owner because the owner owns the land out to the road. Yes, there's a right of way, but it's their plant. And they are just as they're expected to handle maintaining a swale, they would be there to keep it trimmed back so that we have that site triangle. And that's established by IDOT. That's very simple. That is also very simple. Well, you gotta look for it. It's over 2,300 pages, okay? So I bet you had to read it. But it does specify, what is your road condition? Are you going to a T? What kind of control is it? Is it a stoplight, a yield sign, a stop sign? Speed limits, and it's all laid out right there, what's required. We should be able to move forward just a little more expeditiously on this issue.
Thank you. Next I have Mr. John Court. Sorry, we don't have John up here, but I have a phone here.
President Bo and members of the village trustees. I know I'm gonna have to talk fast because I only have 5 minutes, so I'll do my best. I'm John Court, a resident of Sleepy Hollow for 43 years. I spent a few hours over the past couple of weeks watching the last 2 village board of trustees meeting on YouTube. I needed to do so that my comments tonight would be as accurate as possible. I want what is good for our village, and we need a strong board of trustees and sound leadership by its president and support staff. It's a shame that our village is unable to afford to have an attorney present at all board meetings. The last board meeting is a good example where our attorney's expertise could have answered trustees' questions about executive session and agenda items. When a trustee requests that an item be placed on the agenda for discussion, I have heard so many times in the past, quote, "We need to run this by staff and by legal." Why? I don't understand. It's a discussion item and not an item to be voted on. It always seems to me that trustees are being stonewalled unnecessarily. Running by legal for a non-attending attorney is also an additional cost. The time wasted at recent board meetings on these two items is unfortunate. Secondly, at each board meeting, either a member of the board or an audience member is asked to read the civility pledge. I actually was asked and read the pledge when it was first enacted. I hope the reading of the pledge does not become a statement that is not listened to by those in attendance. Your last meeting, civility was put to a test, and in my opinion, it failed. Formal politeness and courtesy and behavior of speech disappeared on occasion. We should all hope that we can treat each other with civility and respect. Thirdly, I was told recently that a representative from West Dundee had sent a proposal to Sleepy Hollow and the owner of the Gull property regarding its future use. I was told it was rejected by both parties. If this is true, was this proposal reviewed by previous boards of trustees, presidents of the village, or our attorney? My understanding is that the board has directed its attorney to zero in on this property and get the rezoning done as soon as possible. Pointing fingers at people for not getting this done in the past is senseless. There's enough blame to go around for the lack of movement in cleaning up the borough property. I see that on the agenda tonight, the issue of a non-attending trustee is to be discussed. Am I correct in assuming that at this moment, discussion about non-attending elected official is still okay in open session? Is that correct, Attorney Schuster?
Could be discussed if the
We
board
can-
wishes.
Okay. I do not know Ms. McGuire personally, and her absence from board meeting is unfortunate. Hours of attorney's time trying to get her here or resign as an elected official is questionable. I just wish someone who was a friend of hers would just ask her to resign for the good of the village, so that the community could have a full board and she could focus on other personal concerns. I hope she's listening tonight and would give consideration to my comments. And finally, I hear all the time from trustees and community members that we do not want to lose the charm and character of our village. And almost every time they mention the site of a self-storage facility as first thing they would see entering the village. You should really start at the corner of Route 72 and Locust. First, you see a banquet building, 2 years under remodeling. Next, for sale signs on both sides of the street. A strip mall to the south, which now has 5 vacant stores. To the north of the strip mall is Dunkin', a dental office and advanced auto store. Jewel grocery store to the north, 60-to-1 vacant lot with weeds 3 feet high. Then a single family home with 5 to 10 cars parked in the driveway. And then the rural property with a parking lot full of weeds, gravel, cars, trailers, and non-compliant signage. Welcome to Sleepy Hollow. Folks, we need to take care of these issues as soon there will be 120 $600,000 single-family homes to our west and to our north. And it would be nice to welcome them all to our village and its amenities. It's not 1953, it's 2026. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up list, Anne Marie Barra.
I'm here tonight on behalf of John Florence, who is not local today, to remind everybody that the first ever mid-century modern home tour is this Saturday, and there are still tickets available. And there are a couple of donor spots for people who would like to volunteer, be docents in other people's homes. And they get to hang out at one of the really cool houses at the after party afterwards. So if you're interested, get in touch with me. It'll be a really great day. That's it.
Thank you. And last on the list, Deborah Vernon.
Hi, my name is Deborah Vernon. I live at 821 Locust Drive, Sleepy Hollow. We're 24-year residents and homeowners and taxpayers. I saw in the Chicago Tribune maybe 3-4 days ago an article about Adrenaline Monkey Adventure Park, which is at the corner of Locust and 72. That there may be some movement about putting a church there, and the church that was mentioned was Harvest Bible Chapel, which is currently on Randall Road, kind of by Royal on the right-hand side if you're going south. I read some articles, it didn't have the whole story. I think this is just very preliminary. I did leave a message this morning for the Economic Development Director of Planning and Zoning as well. His name is Tim Scott. Also deals with urban design, and he's with the village of West Dundee. Just wanted to get some more information. We live on Locust. It's probably some empty lots, and then there's one full block, and we're like 2 houses down. So I think the issues are gonna be, it's still preliminary, nothing's been decided, that, traffic, said there was an auditorium that would seat 1,200 people. We lived all the time that the Target was here. I never saw 1,200 people in Target at one time. So I think it's going to be very, very busy on Sunday mornings if it gets approved. There looks like there's plenty of parking. So it's still just very vague. So I'm concerned, and maybe some other people are, and I'm sure more information will be released. They have a very robust, they're doing the plans. I don't know if anybody's seen it also. They had one meeting already at Emmett's, and they're going to have another one, and that's going to be the whole redesign project at Spring Hill Mall. So if anybody, I don't have the exact dates, I'm sorry, but maybe the clerk could advise later. But this would be a good thing, even if you don't live in West Dundee, it affects all of us. So I'm sure that they will do a good job in vetting everything and doing it in a professional manner. So that is all I really had to say about that. I know the e-bikes are still a thing. I saw some young boys that he looked to be 10 years old, flying down Locust. And I know nothing has been set yet, but I mean, that's still a concern. And, it seems like everybody that's driving in Sleepy Hollow, they probably have a swivel on their head, because you don't know where these kids are going to come from, across the street, behind you. So it's an issue, and it was interesting. I did see an older man driving a bicycle, which was electric, and not at all like the teenagers. He was hugging the right side of the street, going up the hill, going in front of our house. And that's what the purpose is, right? It wasn't at night, but I'm pretty sure he probably had a light on it, and so that's what I would like to see. But I know that it's a reality that the parents are buying them the electric bicycles. So just an aside, I'll wait to see how that, the information that we get later on that. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to trustee reports, roads, parks and streets, trustee Canal.
All right, good evening. I think that we're going to be discussing the road project later in our meeting, so I will pass on that to avoid the duplication. The only thing that I would mention is that, as you alluded to, President Bo, we did lose one of our public works employees, Alec. He left to take another job at South Elgin's Public Works, so we're down to 2. And I know that Kyle has a plan in place. On the park side, I have no report. And that is all I have for now.
Bill, I have a question. Did they give you any update on when the work might start in the park on the project?
In our last meeting, we thought it was about 6 weeks out, but I don't know if you can update that or not, Kyle.
Still about 6 weeks out, yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Like from now, 6 weeks.
No, from
From the last,
yeah.
We're looking at
About a month.
Yeah, about 4 weeks.
mid-September.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Finance, trustee Hoff, please.
All right, thank you, everybody. We are gonna be discussing the screening tax. It appears to still be moving forward. We'll talk about it here coming up with Mr. Schuster. The prepared food tax, 2%, is moving forward as well. Eugene, I wanted to ask you, did you have any contact?
I have not,
I know you were out.
they didn't come to the meeting that I expected them to be at, so I'm gonna have to reach out on.
Okay,
email.
would you be opposed to myself or one of our finance committee members meeting
I
with
don't, I'm
them?
not gonna have a spell meeting at this point. At this point, I just wanna get in contact with them, establish the report, and then be able to get into it.
Okay,
I don't wanna, their time is valuable, and I don't wanna waste their time with people going back and forth. I wanna gather the information, figure out what we need, and then go back to them once more.
all right, so I'll leave it in your hands.
Yes.
All right, fair enough. The finance committee for August 13th has been canceled. The next scheduled on the books was set for September 10th. I guess we will, as we approach the end of August, we will determine if there's enough meat on the bone, so to speak, to have a meaningful meeting September 10th. So keep on the lookout for that. Two other items that are not really related to finance that I would like to just bring up for discussion.
Can we keep sorry, we were just discussing structure. Let's bring those up under new business as discussion. Trying to keep
They're quick.
is it about finance?
No,
Well, let's bring it up under new business. So things are sticking to the topics at the end.
you got it.
Thank you.
It's all I've got.
Thank you. I'll put a note down here. Bill Hoff's 2 items. And Kelly, you had one too. Thank you. All right, water and sewer, trustee McGuire is not here. There are no reports. Kyle, did you have anything for water? No. Okay. Police and public safety, trustee Diaby, please.
Several things. I hope you all have had a chance to read Chief's report that was in the packet. Quite amazing when you look at it. Highlight a couple of things. There were 236 traffic stops in the village in the month of July. Now, that shows you what's going on here. We're trying to keep things in check. As I pulled in tonight, one of our officers had somebody stopped around the corner. So yay team, I'm happy. So a lot going on, 93 calls for service from our police department. And, there's 18 open cases that are being investigated. So like I said in the past, everybody thinks this is Sleepy Hollow. Nothing goes on here. There's a lot going on here. And our officers are busy, they're on the job, and they're doing a really good job. And I thank you for that. Other things, our actuarial study is all the information is collected and it has been submitted. So we will have more information on that coming soon. I really want to look at that and see what we can do with the pension plan. If you've noticed, I had several calls this week on people said, oh, I see the city of West Dundee is advertising on Facebook. They're looking for officers. And what does it say down there that they have? They have a pension plan. And who did we just lose an employee to? For what reason? Because wherever he went had a pension plan. They are very big in municipalities. I know a lot of people in private industry don't like them. They don't, they did away with it years ago. But in municipalities, they are a very big thing. We need to compete on that level, or we're going to have the same problems we've had for a long time. So that's why we're getting the numbers from the actuarial study, and we hope to move forward with that and get more information to the board. So they'll have that so we can make an informed decision. So a lot of good things going on. Chief, you have anything you'd like to add?
Just on the back of my memo, I highlighted 3 particular cases. I said I'd be bringing some stuff forward if we had success cases with the flock cameras. I noted 3 situations where we were involved in investigations. One led to an arrest for a violation of indoor protection and a stalking case. And the only reason we were able to put that case together and prosecute it was because of the flock cameras. One of the more recent cases that we just had up in Saddle Club where we had the burglaries of motor vehicle, we were able to identify a suspect vehicle based on the flock cameras. We had nothing to go on other than a ring camera that showed somebody walking up to a car. We were able to identify a vehicle, get a plate on the vehicle. That vehicle was subsequently involved in a stop in Chicago. The subjects exited the vehicle, fled on foot. They're still somewhere in the wind, but that vehicle ended up being a stolen vehicle as well. And then we had a case that we have been investigating for a while that started at the beginning of this year. And we used flock data to identify an owner of a vehicle, then did some interviews, and then ended up subsequently doing an interview with a subject who was currently in jail, who we believe is involved in our case as well. Again, this is just 3 cases in Sleepy Hollow just this year where the flock camera system has allowed us to investigate or make cases and charge people. And we wouldn't have been able to do that in the past. So.
Thank you, Jim.
So just a quick question. Did we lose a police officer?
No, we lost your public works employee.
Yeah, don't say that out loud too much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, no, we haven't lost it.
But we're fully staffed now, right?
We're fully staffed and have been for a little while, which is a good thing.
7 full-time.
8 full-time.
And how many parking?
We are currently at 5 part-time.
Can I ask a question about the flood cameras? And worst, that information, because I know there's been issues about it.
Sure.
You still control that, it does not go.
100%. Yeah, I control who we share our data with. I get requests every week. I get requests from people in Southern Illinois and Park District Police Departments and people who have no reason to have access to our data. I don't share with them. I share with the people that are directly around us that we need to, East ND, West ND, things like that. Because there's some value to it. I just don't share it with departments that are 100 miles away that are, if they're curious, let them be curious somewhere else.
So regardless of where these other departments are, do they need to make a case to you for why they want what they're asking for?
So they put in a request to share their data. So they want to share those. They want us to allow them access to our data. And I generally don't honor them. I've said from day one when we started this program that I was going to tightly control who we shared our data with.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking to that. So, but anytime we do a review, like as we're reviewing these cases, the officers have to put a case number in and a reason for the review of the case internally. And then I go back and there's an audit trail that shows when the officers do the search. It shows what the search was for. And I run that audit trail at least once a month, if not more.
Thank you.
That's it for me. That's it for me.
I thought the report that you submitted this week was excellent. Are you going to continue that?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and when I say open investigations, when I put that in, that's cases that we're actively working on, either trying to get warrants, we've got subpoenas out, we're doing interviews, things like that. There's other cases that we're still kind of looking at that are not actively being worked, but those are the ones that are actively actually being worked.
Anything further?
That's it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Buildings Environment, trustee Schatzberger is away tonight, so trustee Thomas, sorry for me. I saw you a few hours ago. Building and zoning, please.
Few things. To reiterate, President Bo and I met with a resident, and then I also met with President Bo and Eugene about what was going on with this resident, and we are, as she said, we are waiting for information to come back. I voiced my concerns about where we need to go with this, but I think once we get all the information from the chief and from another source, we'll be able to make a decision on that. And I did ask our building official, as I reported to President Bo and Eugene, that what his feedback was on this, and I communicated that to both people. Also, I have not been to a Park District meeting because their meetings have been canceled, or they've been in closed session because they are doing interviews and taking these prospective folks that are there because Dave Peterson is leaving and they've lost a couple other people, and they've been taking them around. So I have not been to another meeting for a while, but I will be attending the next meeting when it comes up. I did reach out, as President Bo asked, to comment again, and I'm waiting for a response from them. The person I talked to, they're checking into what the status is and the report for that.
Comment or comments?
Comment. This is comment for the raised pipe in over at the golf property. Night course,
Thank
sorry.
you. Thank you.
Night course, sorry. And then you had asked about the officer that we had talked about moving in. I did let Chief Harmon know that officer. I did talk to him last week, and he and his wife decided to move someplace else. So
This is with the canine
with
variance.
the canine variance, so we don't have to worry about that. And then I did attend the Spring Hill Mall meeting. As Deb Vernon indicated, it was a very informative. I thought it was a very good meeting. It is something that I think many people should attend. They did stay around to answer questions and things like that. I thought it was a very good meeting. In what direction they're looking at, what they've looked at in the past, other towns that they've looked at. as far as like Park Ridge, Des Plaines, Mount Prospect, like they're looking at those areas, St. Charles, you know, that kind of thing, but it was a very informative meeting, so I highly recommend if you can make the next meeting to go.
I think it's August 31st.
I think so, yeah. I
Yeah.
can look and reconfirm that at our next
Yeah,
meeting, but
definitely.
it was a very, very good meeting. I thought it was good, and it was packed. It was standing room only, so
Get there early.
get there early if you wanna, and they did have a discussion, like if you were sitting at a table, I believe they had representatives at the tables. I was in the back, so I did not get to sit at the table, but they did have discussion groups, so you could talk to different people and ask questions. So it is a good meeting to go to. And that's all I've got.
Thank you. All right, moving on to old business. We have discussion and motion to authorize Chief Karma to place the order for the new police patrol car not to exceed $47,000. We had already approved it. It's in the budget, but now we need to authorize him to place the order. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Diatley?
Second,
Moved by Diatley, seconded by Thomas. Comments, questions, actually, Chief, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, so the price of the actual squad car itself is going to be 45,788. And then there's a little bit of a delivery charge. So I don't have to drive to Central Illinois to pick it up. And then once we get the car in here, we'll have to then upfit the car with all the equipment. The total in 5-year cap, we put 62,800 total in 5-year cap for the car and the equipment. With the car and the equipment, it'll probably come in around 62,551. So we'll be under the cap figure. But that doesn't include what we're gonna get when we sell the 2017 Taurus that I'm currently driving. So that's gonna probably get us about $8,500. So we'll be well ahead of where we need to be as far as the budget.
What kind of car is it? SUV or?
It's an SUV. It's a Ford Explorer, same police package one. I am going with an off color. I'm doing it completely unmarked with lights inside because I want it to be a little bit more effective as a traffic vehicle. So it won't get as much attention until we want it to get attention.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Hoff.
Aye.
Trustee Connelly.
Aye.
Trustee Thomas.
I,
Trustee Diatley.
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you all. Moving on to new business. We're gonna hold up on 14A. We need to go into executive session for that later. So let's move on to 14B, discussion and motion to approve Public Works purchase of a crack sealer. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved by Kennelly, seconded by Hoff. Director Killinger, would you like to start the discussion?
Sure, attached in your packet is the cracks that I found. It's 2 years old, it's got 400 hours on it, and the purchase price is with a 2-year warranty, $48,922. Looking around, it's the best value for what's out there. I do have a list of all the prices of crack sealers that I got quotes from. Brand new 75 gallons, $75,000. Brand new 125 gallons, $62,000. This one's a 230 gallon for $47,000. So I feel like it's a fair price.
Do we have an idea of how much it would have cost if it was new?
73,000. It's we purchased it from Alta Equipment Company. They're down in South Elgin. It's where we bought our New Holland tractor from, our Woods mowers from. They're a good outfit.
What kind of maintenance are we thinking about on this equipment?
There's not much maintenance to it. It's basically you put the tar in a bin, it heats up oil, the oil heats up the bin, heats up the tar, and then a heated hose that the tar goes through. Basically, you cycle it on, you cycle it off. If there is buildup because the tar over time does burn to the interior of the bin, you have to scrape the tar off, but it's a very low maintenance.
Is there a motor? Is it a motor to?
Yeah, there's a motor, there's a pump. There's a pump to pump it through the hose and onto the street.
You drag it on the 450?
450, 250, yeah.
Any one of those would.
Yeah, it's a
Trailer.
pin tile hitch.
You have room to park it inside?
Yeah. Eventually, yes.
How long will this equipment last then for you guys?
For us, probably 10, 15 years minimum.
Comments, questions, discussion?
So knowing you, you've already got a plan from where we can start putting this to work.
I would start on the newer, fresher paved roads that we've done over the last 5 years and then work our way to the roads that are older. To mitigate the newer roads. Mitigate the problems with them.
I'm assuming this is a two-person stop. If you're using it, you can do that.
Ideally 3, but it'll have to be 2 for the time being because you have to blow out the cracks. You want traffic control, someone doing the cones, someone has to drive the truck, and obviously somebody that walks behind with the wand.
Are we blowing up the crash? Do we have a compressor for that?
No, I'm just gonna use the backpack blower for the time being.
Nice. And then I think it would be good for everybody to hear, when you hired that out to a third party, what did it cost us?
We spent about $15,000 a year for. I don't know, a mile of road. Depending on the severity, how many cracks.
I
It just got to
think-
be really
I think
expensive.
it's a very wise, long-term money saver for us, so.
And that was only one time a year. This is, you know, if
When we
it's,
need it.
if weather permitting, we can go out, take it out, do it whenever.
I think in the long run, it's gonna save us a lot. Good job, guys.
I would agree.
So we did not list the dollar amount in the motion, so trustee Pinelli and trustee Huff, I'd like to amend your motion of approving the public works purchase of a crack sealer in the amount of $48,922.39, which includes delivery and 2-year warranty. Do you approve the amendment?
So move.
Second.
Pinelli, you moved. the
I
first one.
began this.
Okay, so you guys just approve your amendment, thank you. So moved by Pinelli, amended by Pinelli, second amendment by Hoff, in the amount of $48,922.39. Roll call, please.
Trustee Thomas,
I,
trustee Diatley,
All right,
trustee Connelly,
Aye.
trustee Hoff.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. You have a crack sealer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, moving on to item 14C, discussion and motion to approve and authorize to advertise for bids for the water main replacement project.
So.
second,
Moved by Pinelli, seconded by Thomas. Engineer Steele, would you lead us in the discussion?
Yeah, so about a week ago, it's been so long I've been waiting for this. Is about a week ago is received the EPA permit to construct. So the next next step is to go out for bids. We're looking to go out to bids and then get it low bid approved by board on September 7th meeting. So the estimated cost is $966,000, and that's about a little over 2,900 feet of water main. Includes services, directional bore. It's going to be PVC and questions.
We're doing PVC. Oh, sorry, wait, we have a bit. Yes, we can motion. PVC or Bill, what were you talking about before?
HDPE,
Yes. So
Yeah,
are we
so
going
if I
to
wanna
bid
go
both
into a
or
little
we're just doing the
detail.
one?
why you're going that direction, Joe?
Yeah, so basically this HDPE it's been used for years on sanitary and just main trunk lines, basically is the main distribution lines going through there. However, recently is with new methods and just the ability of being able to install it's been slowly getting more and more in residential areas. However, on that is typically right now is just getting the lengths of it. And the number of surfaces on it is currently in other villages, it's only used for houses that, let's say, have maybe 5 residents on it. It's basically, and then it's a longer line. Whereas at Sleepy Hollow it's a lot more lines, and with HDPE, it has a lot more give and go. So basically, as it moves a lot more once temperatures increase and decrease and pressures, yeah.
Okay.
So basically is with that is you end up having to kind of anchor it down into the ground. And just given the methods that they have right now, is we feel like best is to utilize that when we do wind more. When is that, a couple years, 3 years, I've been planning on doing that, just because that is just more of a straight shot, only a couple connections into it, but just given the conditions is basically. PVC is C900 pipe that we're utilizing out there that's been used for years. It's something the Saddle Club, or else just couple.
Crane, parts of crane.
Yeah, and we haven't had any issues with that. It's better than the ductile iron down in the lowland area here just because of the soils and the ground.
Any other questions, comments, discussion?
I just wanted, for discussion purposes, we could probably approve a bid no later than September 1st.
It'd be on the September 7th board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff, are you talking about advertising for this?
Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, that's going out for bid.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. All opposed? All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. We look forward to getting those bids. Moving on to item 14D, discussion and motion to approve ordinance 2026-6, streaming amusement tax in the village. Now, there's been some discussion before we get into, before we get into a motion on this. Attorney Schuster and Administrator Van, there was some discussion just before the meeting. Is this something that you both feel we're ready to move forward with, or is this something that we're need some further discussion and move it to the next meeting potentially?
Mr. Van was thinking of postponing the effective date so that he could organize notifications to potential what are they called, tax collectors under this ordinance.
So we can move forward, but we
I'm
establish.
not sure what you want to, how much of a postponement you think would make sense, but
we can move, so how about this, why don't I take a motion from the board, we can get into discussion, then get to the effective, okay. So if I can get a motion and a second to approve the ordinance 2026 streaming amusement tax in the village.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Thomas, seconded by trustee Hoff. All right, so one thing we noticed is back in the finance committee meeting, in order to mitigate the extra work on administration, especially because we now have one less staff member, we could propose that it was a fewer number that we'd start taxing with this. With taxing, you don't want to just pick and choose, so we're gonna move forward with all of them, but that's gonna be a large, I don't wanna say a burden, but a large workload that you can need to figure out and figure out how you're gonna approach it. So to accommodate administration and the lack of staff, we'd like to push the effective, we can do the vote tonight, but we'd like to push an effective date later on. And then Eugene, if you can just add in when you think that would be appropriate.
The initial list that we have has 69 different businesses and we don't have all the addresses. And the challenge that we face is that a lot of these, there's very little contact information. Like I looked at the first item on there was, Acorn TV. I went to their website. There's no way of contacting them, for us to be able to get that information to collect the tax. So that is a little bit of our challenge. So that's where I'll need the help of the finance committee to help track down all that information.
Sorry, you're saying that we want to go to a larger number than start small?
Well, in order to be fair,
you should not pick and choose who you're gonna tax. Tax them all, or don't tax any of them. All right, if your provider is taxed and my provider is not, there's no rational basis for that distinction.
Okay. Makes sense.
Once it's in effect, right? So that's the problem that we're trying to address.
So I'd be more than happy to get our finance committee guys, we'll split them up and we'll hunker down and we'll come up with, you know,
We just,
legitimate addresses and contact
we
information.
just talked before the meet earlier today, and he showed me the list. I said, I heard Bill and Bill say we'd be happy to help. I said, I think this is one of those delegate points, so thank you, gentlemen.
Bill can't wait.
He's glowing back there.
I'll
Any
be more
other,
than happy to do that.
thank you. Any other comments, questions, discussion from the board?
I have a question. Since you're
Since
missing some of the addresses, and I know that there's another towns that are doing this streaming tax, could you go to those other towns and
Possibly.
get these
That's possible.
addresses that you're missing?
I had reached out and I never heard back from them. Not, I met as an employee, but I guess I could do that.
But I'm just thinking that, you know,
Viable idea, yep. Who did you reach out to, Eugene?
To the treasurer, I can't, via their email address.
just an idea.
Right.
Thank you.
Hopefully
Eugene,
by the next meeting, we can have that.
so would we like to hold off on the vote till we work on the list and come up with, make sure we've got the list and then an effective date, or do you guys want to vote on it now? Eugene, you supply us with an effective date that you think we can do.
Either way.
Things like that.
I mean, the vote is to you guys, so I'm just,
I would say vote on it.
I say vote on it, have that piece done with
Yeah.
it.
what do you think, Eugene?
October 1st.
October 1st. All right, so we are looking to approve the ordinance of, which will go into effect October 1st, 2026. For streaming amusement tax. Any other comments, questions, discussion from the board? And we set that at 5%, correct?
Well,
Yes,
I
Trustee
think it's
County.
important that any residents that are listening know that we are losing revenue currently because of Comcast people unsubscribing. So this is not a case of just vortex. But it's revenue that this village has already lost.
In fact, Trustee Hoff and Commissioner, Committee Member Suzokas, in looking up those lists, will you also work with Administrator Van and draft a letter that we can put on the website, on Facebook, and publish so that, like we want to explain the water main infrastructure fee?
Correct.
Thank you. All right. So let's aim to have that letter ready.
When do you want it to go out?
I was gonna say, let's have it ready for review September 7th, so if we need some more time, it's out by the meeting before the effective date. By mid-September. September 7th. Preferably. Thank you. All right, any further,
Madam President, section 4 of the ordinance that you have in your packet will be modified to reflect the October 1, 2026 effective date of this ordinance if it passes.
thank you. So with the modification, section 4 with the effective date of October 1st. A roll call vote, please.
Wait, what page was that on? Mr. Schuster?
Page 5 of the ordinance,
It's just before all the
section
signatures.
4. It says it takes effect immediately upon passage and approval. It's not, it's going to take effect October 1.
Got it.
Right. So I'll make that modification for the final version for the clerk's records.
Thank you. All right. Any further discussion? Don't mean to jump the gun. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Diatley?
All right,
Trustee Thomas?
Aye.
Trustee Connelly?
Aye.
Trustee Hoff?
All right.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you very much. That'll be a 5% streaming tax effective October 1st, 2026. All right, moving from there, we're moving on to item E. It's a 4-part section, which is the 2026 street program. Let's go and start with item I, a discussion and motion to approve the maintenance engineering agreement BLR 05520. Do I have a motion?
so moved Diatley.
Second.
Moved by Diatley, seconded by Thomas. Comments, questions, discussion?
I had a problem. I wasn't able to get into some of the documents, so. This is one that I would have to put up. Thank you.
It's all of them that are on this number.
Would you like us to postpone this to after executive session, so during the break, we can have a chance to review that? I don't know. You know, it's a little dense, I don't want to put you in a spot there.
don't wanna hold this up, but yes, I think we need to go stay.
Let's go ahead and move 14, put that on hold till after executive session. Moving on to item 14F. Discussion and motion to authorize Attorney Schuster to draft a village code amendment requiring agenda items be provided by noon on Wednesdays and the agenda and packet be sent to board and staff on Fridays. Do I have a motion? Sorry, moved by Pinelli,
Second.
seconded by Thomas. Comments, questions, discussion?
I have a comment. I'm not sure, what I would recommend is that we do a resolution and you do this as a board policy. I guess it could be put in chapter 1 of the village code by ordinance if you wish, but that section seems pretty complete as it is. This is more of a kind of a working rule, just to be sure that you have more time to review prior to a meeting. It backs up the preparation time and days for your staff. But I guess that's your decision to make. That would be my recommendation.
That was my question. It seems more of a procedural thing than an actual
Right, I mean,
ordinance thing.
it would be a written resolution
Right.
and establish the policy of this board.
Right.
That, you know, business and discussion items proposed for the agenda be submitted by noon on Wednesday. The village administrator is charged in consultation with the village president to determine the business and the discussion items to be listed on the agenda. The final agenda then would be distributed not later than the close of business on Friday. I would suggest that you include a statement that says that this is a working rule and a guideline. It's not meant to act as a bar. So somebody that is, so if something comes up late or last minute or subject to a mistake, an exception could be allowed, say, with the approval of the village president. And in all other respects, you're not changing the Open Meetings Act. So preparation and posting and publication of an agenda for any meeting is always subject to those rules. This is your internal, your working rule, just so that these items get distributed to you earlier and you have a chance to review them. So something like that would be kind of some ideas I put down on paper for this.
So I have a question. So like with, it's not locking us in. So if the holiday is on a Monday and our meeting is on a Tuesday, because that happens often.
Well,
Like
this would say Wednesday, Friday. So if a Monday meeting, it would still be Wednesday, Friday. You wouldn't change it.
Even though that 48 hours gets pushed.
Well,
back.
you can if you want. If you want to work Saturday,
Right, that's the problem, is then we would have to work on Saturday
Right.
in order to do it.
But if you're gonna take over the agendas and you're off on Friday,
Well, so what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna have it set by Wednesday.
okay.
right? No matter what.
Okay.
So no matter when the meeting is, it's Wednesday, Friday.
Okay. I just wanna make sure we have leeway there if there's holidays or if the
You can-
holidays on a Friday or the holidays on a Monday.
Yeah, I mean, none of this is final yet. The idea was, no, it's Wednesday, Friday, no matter when the meeting.
Okay.
So it was last Wednesday for tonight.
In that way, if there's any concerns or questions, like if I don't turn anything in by Wednesday, but I get something that I would like to be on the agenda, I can still.
If something of an emergency nature comes up, not that, oh, I forgot to tell you.
No, that's what I'm saying
Yeah.
is we may not get something, and I would say
Yeah, so
that, you
something of an
know,
emergency nature
okay,
would be fine, yeah. Because otherwise, because I know that when Tony was doing it,
Mhm.
you know, he's already publishing the thing and people are calling him and saying, well, I want to add this. And then he, you know, would go through multiple iterations of the agenda before it went out. And I think it needs to be locked down sooner rather than later.
And we've been a little bit lenient, allowing people extra time to get things, which just keeps pushing it back.
Yeah.
Any further comments, questions, discussion? The motion was made by trustee Cannelli, seconded by Thomas. There was discussion of changing it to draft a resolution and a board policy instead of a village code amendment. Would you like to amend your motion to a resolution and board policy versus the code amendment?
So be it.
Trustee Thomas?
That's fine.
So we have an amended motion to authorize Attorney Schuster to draft a village resolution and board policy requiring agenda items be provided by noon on Wednesdays. And you and I have spoken to president, administrator, and clerk. That it's part of the procedure. And the agenda and packet be sent to the board by end of close of business on Friday. And that will also include a statement that this is a working rule, and there can be an exception allowing between Friday and Saturday in the event of an emergency. All right, that motion on the table, resolution, but it's for drafting. So actually, all in favor? It's not the actual resolution.
Aye.
So it's not.
I,
All opposed? All right, all in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Now 14G, discussion and motion to authorize Attorney Schuster to draft the village code to include an attendance policy, consequences for absences, and require that all discussions about staff, appointed officials, and elected officials occur in closed sessions. Let's go ahead and, it was combined as one. Let's break this up into 3 different ones. I should have done that, or at least the first, or you wanted to take this all?
I don't know. Need some discussion.
Let's have a motion to authorize Attorney Schuster to draft the village code for an attendance policy and consequences for absences first. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
second.
Moved by Cannelli, seconded by Thomas. Attorney Schuster, do you have comments about the attendance policy and consequences?
So the authority of this board, or any board in the state of Illinois, is to determine that an elected official has abandoned his or her office. So if you wanted to set a policy, that could be, I guess, a guideline to start. So if you said something like, absence for more than 6 consecutive meetings, may be deemed by the majority of the corporate authorities as abandonment of office under the Illinois Municipal Code. To do that, I would recommend, if that ever came up, that a notice be served on the trustee in question, and he or she be given an opportunity to come in and respond. But the authority lies with the board to make the determination that there's been an abandonment of office. If that happens, then there's a vacancy. If there's a vacancy, there's rules in the municipal code for how that vacancy gets filled. It's a nomination by the village president, reviewed by the village board, and a vote, and or it's put to an election. It all depends when the vacancy occurs. So if that's what you're thinking, that could be added to, probably added into the code of conduct that was adopted in 2020. As what's expected of trustees if they're going to run for office and get elected, they need to attend to the business of the village by attending.
Are you aware of any other villages that have this kind of language that we could,
No, I couldn't find any.
Best discussion, questions?
well, I'm glad to know that there's some other process here, because before I thought it was simply an elected official. Not allowed what to do. Good to know there might be something we could do, at this point, this juncture, I don't know if it's quite well spent, but.
Yeah, it's kind of an unusual situation. Fortunately, it's not inhibiting the business of the village.
If I might offer, I understand that this is uncomfortable because this is referencing a particular trustee. that being said, we also are coming up on an election season, so half of the board may be different next spring. We could certainly work on this now. It could be something that we could continue to discuss. And so we could get put into position prior to the next sitting of the next board. Maybe look into it some more, just check out what other villages do for the code of conduct. When I was researching it further after last meeting, discussing whether or not we had the authority to do anything, what it said most is, unless you have like that home rule where you can maybe do a recall election, the other way to deter or hold trustees accountable is to dock wages. Well, we don't have wages that we can attach to our attendance. Sorry, Steve. And then censure, which we do have in our code of conduct. But sometimes it seems to some people that that's not the option that they're looking for. But other than that, and then we saw the code for abandonment and asked Attorney Schuster to look into that for a while. Because we don't know, it would actually create a vacancy, which then could lead to an appointment. Depends on how many days it's set prior to the election. So it turns on how quickly you want to turn this into action and to which end. Is it code of conduct? Would you like to see something happen more immediately? And we can table this or postpone it.
I would like to move forward with something, because I thought there was, and I'm trying to find it, having problems finding it, but I thought there was something in our ordinance that spoke of attendance. It may be the
It
same
does say
thing.
all trustees shall attend meetings, but we don't have any consequences set out in the ordinance if they if they shan't show up.
Shan't.
Shan't.
Well, wasn't there wording in there that said a police officers would have to go and find them and bring them?
That's out of necessity for a quorum, for a physical quorum.
There is a clause.
It's $25 fine. We can send them out if we know that they are in the jurisdiction, chief. He's gonna run and hide on them. But yeah, if we did not have a physical quorum, like we didn't have one a few months ago. Now I knew that multiple people were out of state, so I couldn't send the chief there. We knew that other people were not in this village proper, so we couldn't send beyond the jurisdiction. And so there was no way to return somebody. But yes, and that is one of the other minor ways but that's only for making sure that we can achieve a physical quorum. So we can do our business.
Well, I think that's why I say move forward, because if we ever run into that situation before the next election, we want to make sure we've got enough staff here, trustees here, and I think we need to, yes, it's not affecting business right now, but it has been happening, and if we keep pushing it down the road until we see what happens, what the outcome is, I just think we need to have, and it makes all of us accountable. It makes everybody sitting at this table accountable.
So for those this has been on the minds for a while, do we have any ideas? So it's 2 meetings a month, 24 meetings a year. Do we have a number of what you think is appropriate or a range that Attorney Schuster is drafting this, we can have 2 weeks to kind of think about that range, or can you give us some direction on this? What is deemed?
Well, I think part of it should be that if somebody isn't able to attend, they should be contacting you, letting you know that's not going to be attended. So I think that might be part of.
Add that to policy.
The agreement.
And the reasons, there's only 2 reasons that you can not attend.
There's 3 reasons.
Oh,
There's 3.
well, there's 3 that allow you to be on electronic Zoom meetings, and that's work, family emergency,
There's one, and I can never.
sick, medical.
So, I think there's military.
There's military. Okay, so let's add in for contact president, clerk, and admin.
And then we put a number to that. That doesn't happen after 4 meetings.
For consecutive, I'm not trying to be picky today. 4 meetings in a year? 4 out of 24
Consecutive.
consecutive? Okay. And then absences in general, regardless of whether or not they give a reason, or, I mean, even contacting, like, is that do you guys consider that if they contact, does that excuse their absence or they're still not there doing work or?
Well, it depends on what
Again, that
their
reason, we've already identified the reason.
So it's.
So the Zoom meeting reasons are the ones.
So it should be written as, you know, it's at the board's discretion whether they're gonna follow that line, you know, because there's someone who could be sick for an extended period of time and that's why they can't. So it should be a may, not a shall type ordinance. So that there's that discretion on the board's part.
May be subject to abandonment procedures.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I got off to start.
Hi, chief. Would you like to contribute?
I was just suggesting that we repeal the whole police part of this.
It's extremely unusual.
Funnily enough, researching, we're not the only ones.
No idea where that came from, but. And to my knowledge, it's never been used.
The old hanging out in the little bar.
All right, so right now we're at 4 consecutive, they may be subject to the abandonment procedure. They must contact the president, clerk, and administrator. If they don't do so after 4 consecutive sessions, they may be subject to this. Now, do we have, just straight up absences? Do you want to set a hard line on that regardless? Like if they're not here for 50% of their meetings?
I don't think you can do a hard line.
Okay.
It's always gonna come to the board for a vote.
Right.
So. The language should say that this is what we expect, and otherwise you may be subject to. A determination that you've abandoned your office. Just that's going to be a little hearing process for the board to then vote on. So you shouldn't lock yourself into a vote before you've heard the story, the facts, what's going on.
Now, let me ask you, we had 4 consecutive absences in which we're contacted, but then there was discussion about it being the electronic means reasonings. Those were the 3 excused absences, but those were actually excused to participate. So
I don't think you should limit the explanation.
okay, I just, you had mentioned it before, I want to make sure. So just any absences, just notify.
There's 8 million stories in the naked city. You just never know what all the factors might be.
All right. Trustee Hall.
What is the policy on when we have to notify you again that we can't make it? Is it a
There's,
day, 2 days, just for the record?
Well,
There is.
I will say I let you guys know, because I had to go a couple times. It was like, we had a meeting on Monday, if I literally had to like fly out at Sunday, so I sent you guys, I know, but didn't find out about it until Sunday morning. So,
now 1 second, yes, as long as, just like Eugene was indicating earlier, especially with amendments, if something urgent comes up, yes, there's some discretion and that will be considered in with the 4 consecutive, like, okay, this something came up. But there is a number in there that recommends, yeah, I want to say it's
48
I
hours.
think it's 48.
at least.
Okay. Unless it's some emergency.
48 hours or as soon as practical.
Yeah, which is, yeah, right.
Something like
We're
that.
all before 7:30.
Because if you're in the national emergency. then-
Well, and that's from the state law, so. That's not unique.
So with 48 hours notice, emergency is notwithstanding. And that will be taken into consideration by the board when and if this comes before them. All right, any more? Now, technically, the request was for consequences for absence, but I think as Attorney Schuster explained, there isn't anything we can specifically assign as consequences, but maybe subject to the abandonment procedures. Is that meeting the request for this agenda item for you guys for now? Okay, then in that case, we have the motion to authorize Attorney Schuster, moved by Kennelly, seconded by Thomas, to draft the village code to include an attendance policy stating that all trustees must contact the president, clerk, and administrator 48 hours prior to the meeting, emergencies notwithstanding. If there are more than 4 consecutive absences, the board may require the absent trustee may be subject to abandonment procedures by the board's discretion. Alright, all those in favor say aye.
I,
All opposed? All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Now, the second portion of 14G, discussion and motion to authorize Attorney Schuster to draft the village code to require that all discussions about staff, appointed officials, and elected officials occur in closed sessions.
What was the origin of this? Some discussion at the last meeting.
Yes, there was discussion about the absent trustee at a prior meeting, and there was concerns that it was not discussed in a closed session, and the residents, staff, and board would prefer that those conversations be an executive session when they're discussed about a specific individual.
Well, here's my reaction to that. The Open Meetings Act gives the board authority to utilize closed session, but it's not a requirement. And again, it's like the last item, it's I think in the discretion of the board. And you don't have authority to alter the Open Meetings Act without home rule. I mean, I'm sure you can do it if you are home rule. So I think you have to live with what the act says. Those discussions are allowed to be in closed session, but takes a motion and vote to authorize that closed session every time.
Now, if we pass this resolution, or if we pass the modification to the code for an attendance policy, which creates a disciplinary action or a point of potential removal, so an action that could be discussed in closed session for the discipline of an individual, does that then raise it to the level it can be moved to closed session?
If I follow that, no.
Okay,
I don't think. It's a good
you
question.
and I discussed.
It's a good question,
Just
but
discipline and
my,
removal,
just off the
the
cuff, I
turning
would say if you're going to make a determination of abandonment of office, that won't occur in executive session.
because we need the public notice in the hearing, public hearing for that.
Right.
Okay.
Closed session is when you have authority to remove the official. You're not removing the official, you're declaring that he or she has abandoned his or her office. It could result in not having that seat anymore, but removal is a different word. It's a different thing. There are authorities, not in the municipal code, but in for other public bodies or other public officials to be removed from office. A village trustee can be removed from office by a judge, but not by a board. So. No, I don't think those two will connect.
And as I have not received any information. I asked some of the trustees thought that there are means by which we could go to closed session. Has anybody come across anything that you want to share with Attorney Schuster that might be an avenue in which he could see if?
I haven't had a chance to contact like the other meetings that I've been in where they've gone into closed session, like Park District. Other village.
To discuss a trustee,
No, well, I don't know because I'm not, they go in, it has to do.
well, you
with
certainly
employee.
employees, you
Yeah,
can go into
so
executive
I'm
session.
going to.
Yeah, you can go into executive session.
Right,
Appointed officials. You could, because the board would have authority to remove that person, we could go into executive session, but not an elected trustee. It's a different section. And as long as it's a specific person rather than a group of people, you can use executive session. That's 2C1. But again, it's not required. The agenda note says to require that all those discussions be in executive session. It's never required. It's the expression of the board as to that matter on that night and that person.
It allows them to have the.
And it's usually used, but it's an exception that the board can take advantage of or utilize if it wishes. But it's not a requirement. You can't make it a requirement. for that reason.
Okay, so the way I'm understanding it, 'cause I'm kind of confused right now, is that if we ask to go into executive session, it's not required, but we can ask
Right,
to do it.
right.
Under
It's a
certain
mo-
limitations.
It's a motion and a vote, or roll call vote. To go into executive session. You're gonna do one in a few minutes. For collective bargaining.
But again, not for elected officials.
Not correct. Not for elected.
Any further comments, questions, discussion for Attorney Schuster on this item at this time? Because with the attorney, oh, sorry.
No, not.
I was gonna say, under advice of counsel, then I recommend we not make a motion. And so I'd like to cross off the second part of 14G. Which brings us to executive session. Can I have a collective bargaining and
Do you wanna do the other?
we're gonna do it right after executive session, so we could read things break. So we're just going in for collective bargaining, section 2C2. Can I have a motion from a trustee?
So moved, Diatley.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I know what you're saying, okay. I take it back. I'm sorry, we had some discussion items from trustee Hoff and trustee Thomas, which we can continue, and then we'll go to executive session. Thank you, those were 2-page agenda. All right, trustee Hoff, continuing with your finance report, you had 2 new items you wanted to address, and then I'll move on to trustee Thomas, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's been noticed in the village that residents are putting out used furniture at the end of the driveway well in advance of garbage day. And I just wanted it to be noted that that is not allowed. It can go out Wednesday night with, you know, furniture that's upholstered and whatnot, and we have rain and everything else. It's just not the look and feel that we want for Sleepy Hollow. So I would just ask that it be noted. And hopefully the message gets carried.
Does the code say 24 hours?
It says
Garbage is
5
allowed, I
p.m.
think, eat.
Pardon?
I believe it's 5 p.m.
Yeah.
The night
I
before.
I didn't recall. I thought there was something. Thank you.
And the second item on housekeeping of our village is the storing of garbage totes in front of the house. We don't have a lot of violations in that magnitude, but there, if you drive around, there's more than a handful. And so again, just reiterate, it's not allowed, it's not the look that we want to create for the village. It doesn't create demand for people to want to move here, doesn't help our property values, and that it just needed to be restated. So I don't know if we want to put it in a code, force it with wording.
Garbage cans are in there, and Chief, remind me, in the conversation I had with you and Officer Fleck earlier sometime. One of the difficulties with the enforcement of the garbage cans is because some of the placements are on the side or the back side of the house. I think Officer Fleck was asking for more clarity from us on enforcement levels and just giving him better language. We were working on some drafts. As you saw, the police department has been very busy the past couple months and 6 months, so we will move that up ahead so we can get that going for. Let's talk so we can get it going by fall, October. Sure. Okay.
And just to note it, it's in our code under 4-1-2.
You know, one of the other issues is that, you know, because again, how the houses are arranged or whatever, you can have a situation where your house is visible on every single side. And it was brought up about possibly having a screening for garbage cans. And that is technically not allowed because it is a structure. So if you're going to do that, I would then include an allowance for screenings for garbage cans.
It's worded for multifamily to have screening for the dumpsters or whatnot, so
Right.
I would
We need
be,
bigger buildings though.
yeah, and I get it.
Yeah, they
But
have
we
to
don't have
dumpster.
it, to Eugene's point, and I would agree that we should add that word, from my perspective.
Trustee Thomas, do you want to bring that up in next P and Z meeting? Refer to P and Z.
And we get,
Yeah, definitely not my bailiwick.
Police enforcement, but filming and
yeah, and we have, in my subdivision where I live, we have an HOA and I'm on the board. I've been on the board for 25 years. But we have where it has to be screened from view from the front, whether it's by plants or, we draw the line with structure just for the board's edification. If you put sides to it, it's fine, but once you put a roof on it, then it becomes a shed. So basically, if you just have walls around it, it's not a shed, because we don't allow sheds. I'm not getting into the shed discussion. But in our, we don't
I'm
allow them,
agreeable to
so,
that.
yeah, so if you put a roof on it, it becomes a structure. But it can be screened with just, those, they make those fences that just go around air conditioners or something like that, and those work out pretty well.
And you can do plants, like you said, that's
Absolutely.
another great idea.
Yeah.
You can put bushes just to, so it looks.
so I know we're all gonna have opinions on it, so let's talk with people, get some feedback. Funnel that towards trustee Thomas for
There's a lot of
the,
examples in this code.
but I think we're convinced and happy mediums. All right, thank you, trustee Huff, anything more?
That's it.
Let me move on to was it about his or?
No.
Okay, I'll come back to you after trustee Thomas, please. Thank you.
This came from trustee Schatzberger. Since she could not be here, she asked me to
Okay,
talk about this. She wanted. Let's see, she'd like to amend the agenda, which we did, under new business to discuss a budget issue for a drainage study to be discussed. If it's agreeable, she would like to ask the board's approval to have the village engineer complete a survey on potential cost on drainage in the easement from Rainbow Court to Thoroughbed Pond. Director Killinger said there might be some grant opportunities as well, and she will research to see what might be out there.
Thank you, trustee Schatzberger, if you're listening. Staff did discuss this earlier after their meeting and decided it wasn't at agenda level yet. So why don't we have Eugene and Kyle meet back with trustee Schatzberger?
Due to the cost, this might be something that has to wait until the next budget cycle for us to be able to get that in there.
And I know there had been a plan discussed previously about drainage issues and where we'd be starting and progressing due to elevation levels.
Do you know the area in question, Kelly?
Rainbow Court to Thoroughbred.
Down on Hillcrest and Rainbow and then Thoroughbred.
You have to drive me there, the lower part of it, I would drive.
Was there a second item from Rhonda?
That was it.
Okay, did you have two items?
No, that was, it was just.
Thank you. Trustee Cannelli, new business?
Yes, Mr. Vernon brought up the language. What is the process to adding, not adding? What do we do after? What happens with it?
It is on the agenda for discussion before P and Z for the next P and Z meeting. So it could just be addressed by them and they could bring it on themselves. I believe a resident could raise the petition or the last petition, the last text amendment where we removed self-service storage units was at my direction requesting that Attorney Schuster draft a petition. So there's multiple ways it can go forward. Would you brief us more on?
Well, it requires a public hearing and then a recommendation from the planning and zoning and final action by the board of trustees. But it requires an initial written petition.
But then also keep in mind that any rule that's put in place can be undone. So all we're doing is putting something on the books that can be just as easily taken off the books. There's no such thing as a prohibition.
And I would like to add in, I understand the frustrations. And Pete and I had some discussion a year ago when we made this text amendment change. Administrator Van, correct me, there was 2 or 3 groups who had called in asking if we allowed for self-service storage units. After we had that text amendment change, he was able to say, no, we just removed it. They said, thank you, hung up, and we didn't hear back from them. I think in this case, which caused a lot of turmoil in the village, we had a developer who already had created their plan, invested their time, still came back, knew the state of it, and felt they could not push through, but go forward with the application. I understand what you're saying. We'll bring it up in planning and zoning for discussion. Trustee Thomas and I discussed it, and yeah. So it can be brought up by the Planning and Zoning Commission, and then if we decide to move forward with the public hearing, do one of us individually, or can the P and Z Commission?
Someone has.
Well, they have
file a
to, because they have to assess the
They shouldn't
petition.
file the petition.
No, they shouldn't, because they'd have to assess the amendment
Board could
request.
authorize you to file a
Okay.
petition. So in the audience can file a petition.
What's that?
Because we're back to where we started when this came to a vote last time, is that we will be spending money to put this in for something that could be undone at a later date and spend more money to undo it.
Right.
So why are we wasting our time or effort in this? That's my problem. What? Okay, well, again, I think the same, why would we bother? If it can be undone, why bother doing it?
Why are the other ones?
Guys, sorry from the public. No comments, thank you. Trustees, did you have any questions?
Thank you.
Trustee Hoff?
With the public hearing that we had recently, was that paid for by the chamber?
Yes,
For their petition, yes.
Okay,
it was covered by an escrow.
okay, very good.
Any other?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And they're up. They're like, that's,
I'm still waiting for bills to come in, but at this point, they still have a positive balance. So
As in they don't owe us.
they don't owe us, we owe them.
Their escrow has.
Yeah, we owe them.
All right, hearing no further new business at the moment, can I have a motion to move to executive session for collective bargaining under section 2C2?
So moved, Diatley.
second Thomas.
Moved by Diatley, seconded by Thomas. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Connolly?
Aye.
Trustee Hawk?
Aye.
Trustee Diatley?
Aye.
Trustee Thomas?
Hi.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Folks, we just have one item after this, so we are gonna ask to clear the room. We're gonna stay in here and we'll take a 5-minute break, trustees, and we'll start the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Fine.
No, we're coming back.
I'm gonna tell my neighbors now what. It's not gonna delay it itself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay. That's support by students.
Hey, I was impressed.
The new officer we got. I was. They said they did 237 traffic stops in July alone. Help out with dump trucks to pay for the outside contract.
Hey, Chief, how did Kelly how did she get her name as part of your?
Special.
She's special, right? Our Kelly Day. I'm gonna name one day after every trustee.
Holiday, holiday.
Mostly Kelly, they got named for the Kelly Day.
I think that schedule started in Chicago, to be honest with you, and
Yeah.
it was an officer.
Oh, no,
It
I'm
was an
sure it
officer
was,
Kelly
yeah, I'm sure
that
it
it came
was.
from. Back in the fifties, that was a terrible schedule.
No, I can still talk, it's like, oh, shoot. All right, guys, we're gonna reconvene at 9:25 in open session. Can I have a roll call, please? Trustee Hoff?
Here.
Trustee Diatley?
Here.
Trustee Connolly?
Here.
Trustee Thomas?
Here.
We have physical quorum and the same members are still here. Thanks for not running away, people. All right, so we just came out of executive session, so we can return to item 14A. Discussion and motion to approve resolution 2026-5 for approval of renewal of the CBA for part-time police officers in the village. Can I have a motion?
So moved, yeah.
Second.
Moved by Diatley, seconded by Thomas. Any comments, questions, discussion from the board? Hearing none, roll call vote. Trustee Connolly?
Hi.
Trustee Hoff?
Aye.
Trustee Thomas?
Aye.
Trustee Diatley?
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you all. Now we're gonna pop back to 14E, the 2026 street program. I had we had the current motion on the table, started by trustee Diatley, seconded by trustee Thomas. Do you still stand to move to approve the maintenance engineering agreement BLR 05520?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So with that motion is open for the board. Any comments, questions, or discussion about the maintenance engineering agreement?
I have a lot of. I've, you can help me understand this. I just, in all consciousness, could agree to something I had.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sorry, Kyle.
Do you have any current questions?
I do not.
All right. Any comments, questions, discussion from anybody else on the board?
I've never seen those forms before. I'm sure you have to have those forms filled out every time we do a street program, correct?
We had this, I was
I don't remember seeing them.
I was reviewing it myself because Clerk Ree and I were discussing the steps we had to take. We did do this about the same time last year, but it was the first few months in, so there's probably just a lot. But yeah, these same exact type of forms were used. Things get sent out for the bids and we go from there. All right. So motion to approve the maintenance engineering agreement, moved by Diatley, seconded by Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Moving on to item E2, discussion and motion to approve the maintenance resolution BLR 14220, appropriating available funds from the motor fuel tax account to fund the year 2026 street program. Do I have a motion?
So.
Second.
Moved by Connelly, seconded by Diatley. Comments, questions, discussion? Quick question, point of order. We're appropriating the funds, but is this a roll call vote, or we're spending the money on this, or we're just
We're spending village money.
roll call vote?
Motor fuel tax funds to the.
Yes, trustee
to the
Hoff.
village, right?
This is strictly the 150, or does it include our?
In the 150 and the 5-year cap money.
Yeah, okay,
The same, but that resolution is just for the 150. The next one is for that one.
Okay, there we go.
okay,
All right, so let me rephrase.
so it's 150 grand.
Motion to approve the maintenance resolution BLR 1422, appropriating available funds in the amount of $150,000 from the motor fuel tax account to fund the year 2026 street program. Trustee Connelly and trustee Diatley, do you approve of the amended amount to the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, now moving forward, roll call. Any other further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Thomas?
Aye.
Trustee Hoff?
Aye.
Trustee Diatley?
Aye.
Trustee Connolly?
Hi.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Item 14E3, discussion and motion to approve to authorize the president, village administrator, and or village clerk to execute all necessary IDOT forms and authorize the village clerk to advertise for bids upon formal approval from IDOT of the program. Can I have a motion?
So. Second.
Moved by Kennelly, seconded by Diatley. Comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. And last but not least, item 14E4, discussion and motion to approve the estimate of maintenance in the amount of $120,000. Do I have a motion?
That's,
Oh, was that not the 120?
no, it's the whole form. It's the whole
Thank you.
form basically saying 150 for the MFT funds. This year's estimated cost, what we have is $268,445.50, and then it's the 118,445.50 is the 5-year.
So we approved the maintenance resolution, moving the funds from the MFT. This is approving the whole budget and,
Yeah.
and noting the
Yeah,
118. Okay.
including the engineering. For it.
So I'm,
And so the total of the whole project is gonna be $304,224.51.
in that case, I'm looking for a discussion and motion to approve the estimate of maintenance in the amount of $304,224.51. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Kennelly, seconded by Thomas. Comments, questions, discussion? Thank you, Jeff. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Diatley.
Aye.
Trustee Hawk.
Aye.
Trustee Thomas.
Aye.
Trustee Connelly.
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. That leaves us at the end of new business. Do I have any other new business from the board or staff? I was gonna call you trustee, Director Killinger.
Crane Drive median.
What was it, Tom?
Aren't we just setting that out for another blind bid?
Well, we want the board's consensus on
What do you wanna do?
paving or paying the engineer.
Oh, okay. So new business. Director Killinger came to me the other day. We had a bid, we had multiple bids for the Crane Drive Island. That was some work that was approved by the board. Upon receiving the bids, he learned that one of them came from a business with which he has a familial connection. We discussed if he could disclose it as a conflict of interest, but learn if there's ever a direct or indirect financial impact, we should go to a blind bid. Dylan, who's his second in command, is not currently well versed in submitting bids or drafting these, so the appropriate step, because the time is of the essence right now with the island, is we asked engineer Steele to submit it so we could do a blind bid and remove all conflict of interest. You guys want to review some of the costs of what it would take for that, and we'll do a consensus because it's not an action item.
So basically is, like you guys mentioned, is basically as we go out to bid, to do the bid documents it'd be about $2,000. That's a not to exceed amount, so hopefully everything will go faster on that. That includes basically like we do with all of our other water main projects and all that, form specifications, everything. As far as timeline is, we're looking at, go off the bid on the 17th, all the way up to the 31st. If you wanted to, we could reduce that down, but either way is we'd have to have the bid opening before the next board meeting, or the 7th. August, September, I don't even know what month it is. On the 7th, and basically get approved for the low bid there. And then is we can go proceed to construction from there. And then once Kyle, I think you can take care of everything. Right?
I believe so. Once the bid's approved by the board.
Yeah, because when we were looking up, it said bid specifications needed to go blind, and
I can't touch it until after the.
Until the
bid
board has
is
decided.
approved, the winning bid, yeah.
So we want to submit the bid out this week or so that it's out, kind of like the other one, the water main and the other, so that we have it back to the board for the September 7th meeting for approval. Okay.
Basically, board consensus to spend $2,000 for Jeff's engineering fees.
Because this exceeds the normal financial purchase amounts from our director and administrator. We cannot discuss the amount of the bids cannot discuss the amount of the bids that we knew of ahead of time with respect to engineer Steele, so dismiss the size of the project, just consider whether or not we want to charge or spend that money for the bid process.
Which we're already, like, when we go out to bid, we pay that anyway.
Not for me. When
Yeah,
I
normally
go to
Director
get bids, I get pricing.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay Heinz Engineering now their fee.
And let me clarify, this is a very specific instance where we know moving forward, there may be other things that come up in the village, which Kyle is aware of, and then we can move forward from there. We're talking about training Dylan or whoever second in command is that can step in and help with that process. So we don't, no offense, Jeff, take on this extra expense. This is just one of those circumstances that came up. And it was a surprise conflict, I guess, or it wasn't, yeah, unanticipated, yeah.
Yeah.
And so before bringing it to the board, we just nipped it in the bud to get rid of the conflict of interest, went straight to a blind bid. And we're trying to do it in the least possible way, but to do it properly. I think this is an expense we can take on just once, plan for it in the future.
Right, yeah. And we're gonna get at least 3 bids. That required?
So
There's no
it's-
number.
you
You
have,
don't know how many you're.
it's basically it's kind of have 3 different options. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is basically is you can choose someone, basically as you go out, get a price from them, and then have unanimous approval by the board. Second is you get 3 bids. Make sure that everything's equal footing for everybody. Approve one of those bids. Or thirdly is go out to bid, basically a blind bid, and then see who comes back with wanting to actually bid for the project. So you might get 1, you might get 10, and you might get 0. It's all open.
And we're gonna do the blind.
Yeah, I already got pricing from him.
Yeah, because we already started it, it'd be best if we come in.
Okay, got it.
Any other comments or concerns from everybody? This isn't an official vote, but if you just let me know that if you object or have any reservations against us moving forward, we would appreciate it.
No, go ahead.
Audible.
Go ahead.
Trustee Diatley,
Go ahead.
trustee Thomas,
Bye.
trustee Kennelly,
Go ahead.
trustee Hawk.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Sounds like the right thing to do.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, any other new business from anybody? Can I get a number 15?
To adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Thomas, seconded by Diatley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned at 9:37 PM.
Good party today, guys.
Yeah. Vice President needs to qualify that. She'll just go after midnight.
I see, were you able to find your contract with the village, so I should fill that FOIA request?
My contract?
Yes,
Oh, awesome.
I just appointed you to do this.
I think there was an agreement 2 years ago.
There's an agreement.
Where you stipulated the costs,
Maybe.
or you basically said that this is what they are supposed to be rating.
That's yours.
I could billing.
Isn't it?
No, I haven't.
Is this the stuff we're gonna do?
Yeah.
You sent me an email about that? This is on my record.
Smells like it.
Look at this.